I'm Bob. I like coffee. I also like to tell stories. So here at the Bobcast Coffee, it's time for a coffee break. So take a coffee break with me and pour yourself a cup of your favorite Joe. By the time you're done with your coffee, you'll know something about me you really didn't need to know. But you'll have fun learning it. Just remember, my stories are true. For the most part. This episode is brought to you by JM Insurance. JM Insurance, that's where the insurance mamas will get you covered. Whether you need personal, business, life, disability, they have what you need. You can call them at 405-353-0140 and get a free quote. That's 405-353-0140. You can find them at 255 South Castle Rock Lane in beautiful Mustang, Oklahoma. So for all your insurance needs, contact the wonderful people at JM Insurance. If you need to, go online at www.jminsurance.agency or send them an email at quotes@jminsurance.agency. Today I'm enjoying my coffee in a repeat mug. Again, this is a True North agency. Now, agency, it is an insurance agency. Well, now True North is an excellent place. I love the people there. But that doesn't mean that they're the ones sponsoring today's episode. No, JM Insurance is sponsoring. So why would I be drinking out of a True North mug? And it is good coffee. Good Scars and Stripes coffee going in my mouth. But why would I be drinking out of a True North mug when I'm being sponsored by another company? Well, that's a good question, which has led me to the understanding that in my vast coffee cup collection that I have here, I'll be finished in just a second, I do not have a JM Insurance mug. So today, I'll be drinking my coffee out of a JM Insurance mug. So challenge extended, JM. Let's get a mug in Bob's hands. Please. Anyhow. Today, let's see, I believe we're looking at episode 44. Now, a while back, I believe it was episode 14, we were looking at Bob. Was it episode 14? Yeah, it was. Now you know why. So, Bob's a little claustrophobic, and we found out why. Because of situations like Bob sliding his body into a flooded mine shaft, almost 300 feet below the surface of the ground. Okay, well, today's episode is going to pick right back up where we left off on that episode. If you remember, we had driven out Standard Wash out in Arizona. We could get to it when you were driving from Lake Havasu City, Arizona, down to Parker, Arizona, home of the famous Parker Dam. And halfway there was a turnoff, and you could get out into the desert on the Standard Wash. washes are rivers that don't flow very often. It takes rain to do that. And the desert will flush all that water real fast right to the Colorado down the Standard Wash, which actually makes great for driving. So when it's dry, you can use these as like little roads going out into the desert. And you follow Standard Wash long enough, you reach the Jupiter mine camp. And then there's the Jupiter mine shaft and all the smaller shafts off to the side. There are just a ton of mine shafts out there. And in episode 14, we were walking from one mine shaft that tried to kill us, and we were heading over to another mine shaft that we could see. And we were about halfway there, and we found episode 14, and we went down the air shaft, and Bob barely made it out alive. Well, now we're picking up where that left off. Bob is laying on the ground, soaking up the sun, trying to get the heart pumping, get the blood moving. And after an hour or so of me laying there, well, Shan and Rick got bored. Me, I was happy as a clam soaking up the sun rays. But that other mine shaft, we can see it. It's right there. And they're like, Bob, you ready to go? And I'm like, no. And they said, come on, let's go. It's just another mine shaft. It's just right there. Okay. I love my brother. I love Shan. I'll do it. So we go walking off. And it's not that far. Like I said, it was only like another 300 yards to get to it. Just down that hill, back up the other hill. We were there. And it was a weird mine shaft. We could walk straight into it, or you think you could walk straight into it, except the mouth of this mine shaft had dead cut up cactuses thrown all over. I mean, it was, you could not have done this better with concertina wire. Someone went to a lot of hassle and just loaded this area with cactus. Now, you say, well, Bob, it's just cactus. Walk right through it. No, you don't do that. Those needles are big. And you go traipsing through that, you're going to just tear your feet to pieces, even when you're wearing the big old hiking boots, which at this time Bob was not. So my little tennis shoes would have been ripped to shreds. Well, we sit there and we think about this for a minute and say, well, only a true idiot would find a way around this. And my brother picks up a big rock. And I mean, it's a big rock. And he looks at it and he throws it out there. And Shan, like the mountain goat he is, jumps out there and goes, yeah, this will work. And we start gathering big rocks. The flatter, the bigger, the better. And we start throwing them out. And we build ourselves a little road, a bridge across all this cactus debris and get ourselves to the mine shaft. Excellent. Now we get all our gear, loaded up out in the desert. We're standing out in the desert before we do this. We say, okay, we've built this thing. Let's get our gear on. Well, Shan is pretty much geared up. Has his hard hat on, turns on his light. He's got a flashlight, and he takes off. And Mountain Goat Shan across the rocks. He's into the mine shaft. Great. All right, so Bob's next, and I get that steel pot on. I lock it in. I get my headlamp on. I've got my extra flashlight. I'm ready to go. All right, and I always carry the extra rope. I always have at least a 10-foot section of rope with me for all emergencies. Bob's ready, because 10-foot rope is going to help me in this one. So Bob traipses across the rock. Now, Rick is still out there. He's getting himself set up, but he'll be in right behind Bob. Well, when I get into the mine shaft, you can see Shan's light way off in the distance. And Shan is moving pretty quick down this mine shaft. Excellent. So, looks like it's pretty straight here, and Bob takes off. And I'm just following, Shan's light. Yeah, it's not facing me. I mean, it's going forward on his helmet, but as he looks left and right, I can see that light. This is pretty. All right, so mine shaft's going straight, and there goes Bob behind it. All of a sudden, we're in maybe, I don't know, a good ways in. I mean, it's dark. I mean, the light that's at the opening of the mine shaft is not helping us any. So let's say we've walked a couple of football fields in there, and all of a sudden Shan's light, and I'm not really trying to catch him, keep our distance a little bit in there. And Shan's light starts to go up, and disappears. Well, that was different. Usually mine shafts go down and down, and that's what you're looking for. Or they turn, they fork out and they turn. Up, huh? Okay. Always the first time. So Bob's traipsing along. Now the floor of this is very flat. And you could tell, I mean, they had the cart rails, the railroad track looking things that are going into the mine shaft, and we're just following those. And all of a sudden I get to about in that area that Shan's light started to go up, and the dirt goes up, and I'm like, oh, well, explains what happened to Shan. So Bob starts heading up the rocks and the dirt, and I mean, we're not talking about like a mountain of rock. We're talking about pretty gentle up. So Bob starts walking up and taking the flashlight and working my way up. And I know my brother's in the cave by now, but I mean, he's back there a ways. And I get to the very top, and I start to flatten out again, and it's not smooth like it was before. It's kind of, rougher up here. But I see Shan's light, and I go, it's Shan. I can see him. He's out there. But, there he is, and he goes, and he's gone again. Sometimes I wish Shan wasn't such a mountain goat. But it has paid off in other situations, so I'll head over there and see which way Shan went. And as I'm going, I think, maybe I should slow Shan down just a little bit so we can get our bearings. Maybe if I can get up with Shan, we can wait for Rick to catch up. We'll do this a little bit more logic. So I go, Shan! And this Chihuahua-size rock drops from the ceiling right in front of me. Woof. Or actually, for a Chihuahua. Bob stops, pauses. I look down at the Chihuahua-sized rock, and I look up. The ceiling does not look like it's smooth and cut, like you were drilling your way into a mountain looking for gold, silver, whatever. It looks all torn up, and you can see big crevices going up into the rock, and it's not smooth at all. And I'm thinking, in all the mine shafts we've been in, this is not what they look like. And I think, I gotta ask Shan about this. I go, Shan! And another rock about the size of a Chihuahua falls down. Woof, woof, woof. Pow! And I think about it, and I can hear little pebbles dropping behind me. A couple bounce off my steel pot. And I'm like, reality. Light bulb. Bing! I'm not in the mine shaft anymore. I'm standing on top of a cave-in. So at some point in history where you would walk normally and go through, a big section of this cave fell and left the pocket that you could actually walk over the top. And when I say a big section, I'm talking the top of this, the flat side that I'm on right now, is probably a couple of 100 feet across. All right, one last. We're going to do this one more time. Shan! Little rocks are falling everywhere. This is not a stable mine shaft. Okay, I'm going to go as quick as I can, as quiet as I can. I'm going to take off. I'm going to get a hold of Shan, and we're going to get our ass out of this mine shaft because we are not in a good spot. I've already tried to die twice today. This is not going to be the next one. And I decide to start heading forward. I hear my brother coming up to the top of this plateau that we're on. And I'm like, crap. Got people this way, got people this way, got rocks coming down this way. This is not good. So I turn around and I head over to my brother. Good coffee. And I stop my brother, and I just stop him. And he looks at me, and he goes, in my brother's casual style, "What?" And here comes a poodle-size rock. Bam! Right beside us. My brother looks at the poodle rock, looks at me, looks back at the poodle rock, and goes and turns, and he's gone. He's heading out. Thank you. All right. Turn. Bob, come on. Get it going. Here it goes. I turn and I take off for Shan. And now I'm moving fast, but I'm moving as quiet as I can. I mean, this is Ninja Bob at his best. And I get to the edge, and I start going down the back side of this cave-in. I get back out on the flat floor. Excellent. And I start moving. I'm going. And I see Shan's light way out there. Excellent. So I'm moving. And I finally catch up to him. And I mean, this is really deep inside this mine shaft. And I get in there, and I grab him, and I turn him, and he starts to say something, and when his headlight hits me and my headlight hits him, I'm doing this. And Shan looks at me. I'm like, he goes, "What?" And a rock falls from the ceiling and drops on the floor. Bob Shan catches on real fast. Be quiet. And we turn and we start moving our butts out. Now, I don't know what the pucker factor is on this, but it is very difficult when you know you have to be quiet and you want to move fast to do that. It was amazing. We were scampering up the rock. We were going across this couple of 100 feet and back down the other side, and I don't remember a single sound being made. I know we're walking on rocks. I know we're doing something, but we are moving. And get out into the sunlight. We turn around. We've gone across our little rock bridge, and we're going, wow, that was something. And of course, my brother picks up a rock and hurls it in. And you hear it go, clap, 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 boop, 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 boop. And then you hear, ching, 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 ching. I now realize what someone has done. They found the cave-in. And they came out and said, we want to protect people. And they brought all this cactus out, chopped it up, and threw it out there so we would be like concertina wire and make you not want to go into this mine shaft unless you're three idiots in the desert. Safe to say, we lived through it. I'm still drinking coffee. This is another example of why you should never try these stories at home. Poison gas, frozen, unseen pools of water, cave-ins, they all happen. And when you're talking about mine shafts that are 100 years old or more, that are on the Arizona-California border, earthquake central, maybe not the smartest place to be. But it makes a good story. Until the next time, enjoy your coffee. And if you need insurance,